at this time, just I guess one general comment I'd like to make about the end of the video, and that was the reference to the number of miles of ATV in Maine and the access that we have to really good ATV trails. And the rest of New England, if you are a student sitting in New Hampshire somewhere, or Massachusetts, or who knows where, Vermont, you're not going to have access like we have access. So it's very powerful. And
on that video, that was published about 5 years ago. We're up to about 6,200.
okay, so 6,200 miles. Now they're well on their way. Now, at this point, what I'd like to do is, in the program that we have allotted 5 minutes for each of our speakers to address the area that they have expertise in. So we're going to start off with Warden Marquis. He's going to make some general comments about what he has to do as he integrates his work in with the ATVs. Then we'll move on. At the end of their presentations, you will have a chance to then question them, and we'll have an open session for you to ask questions of any one of the panel members here. So the next 20 minutes, 15, 20 minutes will be their presentations. Then at that point, you will have a chance to ask questions. So I would like you to keep those questions in your mind and hold on to them for later, please. So we'll start with Warden Marquis.
Don't clap yet, you guys haven't met me on the trail. Maybe somebody asked. Basically, you know, my job on a day-to-day basis, I mean, it goes from one thing to the next very quickly. You know, I can be checking fishermen 1 minute and then get called to a search the next, and then, you know, or a half hour later I'm on the ATV trail or at an ATV crossing. When it comes to ATVs, basically we're looking for the normal stuff, properly registered, numbers displayed where they're supposed to be, not underneath the fender, covered in mud. And I'll tell you this, you know, people say, you know, geez, I gotta put a sticker on my ATV and it doesn't look nice and all that stuff. If you really don't want to bring attention to yourself, just put your stickers on, okay? If I don't see stickers, or they're covered by mud, I'm gonna stop you, all right? And I'm assuming that that's not really a problem for you guys because you all follow the law anyway, but if there's anything else wrong, like no headgear, protective headgear if you're under 18, or you're a passenger, or you don't have your safety course, you know, if you don't give us any reason to stop you, then you're good to go on your way. So, you know, properly registered, wear your protective headgear. Ages, if you're between the ages of 10 and under 16, you have to have the ATV training course. You guys all realize that? And with that, if you're going to go on the ATV trail, you have to be accompanied by a parent, guardian, or someone 21 years of age or older. Okay? Once you turn 16, you can go off by yourself if you want, or if your parents let you, but you still have to have your helmet and abide by, obviously, all the rules and regulations that we enforce. There are no posted limits, speed limits on ATV trails in Maine. Okay. However, there are certain statutes or violations that we enforce. One of them is imprudent speed. Okay. What that means is basically, if you are going at a speed that for the existing conditions of the trail or the atmosphere, meaning if it's snowing out or pouring rain or foggy, and you're going at a speed that me as an officer, feel is unsafe for the existing conditions, I can give you a ticket for that. And that, by the way, is a Class E crime. Okay, it's an arrestable offense. So keep that in mind. Even though there's no posted speed limits, you want to make sure that you're not putting yourself and other people on the trail in danger by operating in an imprudent manner. Reckless and operating to endanger. Those are also, actually, I think reckless is a Class D crime. Crimes go in different classes. E, as far as crimes go, is the lesser, and then as the D and C and B and A, those are worse, harsher penalties, etc. But reckless operation and operating to endanger, that means by putting yourself or anybody else at risk for substantial injury, or endangering any person and or property, okay? Also a crime. Like I said, like Dave said, we've all said here, if you guys just be safe, operate responsibly, you won't have to deal with me or my coworkers on the trail. As you know, if you've been on ATV, we're all over the place. Not all the time, but you never know when we're going to pop up. So keep yourself out of trouble that way. Basically, the biggest thing that I found is that people get on an ATV, they buy one, their parents give them one, they get one for Christmas, whatever it is, put a helmet on and go. And, you know, it's great fun. But when we stop them on a trail and either give them a warning or a ticket for one thing or the other, they say, well, I didn't know that. And mom and dad didn't tell me. But you guys all can read, and it's all in here. If it's in here, it's the law or it's the rule. If it's not in here, then you guys are all set. But read these, okay? And for ATV and snowmobile. Ignorance is no excuse. Ignorance of the law is no excuse. So just because you don't know what you're doing is wrong, okay, it doesn't get you out of a ticket or out of trouble. But if you know ahead of time, then you won't find yourself in that situation to begin with. Is there anything else you want me to cover right offhand? Or good? All right.
Thank you, Officer Marquis. First and foremost, I think I certainly want to extend my thanks and gratitude to the Madawaska ATV Club for without their work, there would be no ATV riding in Madawaska. Their work, in conjunction with the police department, we've come a long, long way. The town of Madawaska, the Board of Selectmen in Madawaska, just this past April 4th, signed an agreement with the Snowmobile and ATV Club. Because of the responsible members of the club, they've signed an agreement that they were going to allow recreational vehicles to access our businesses under the following conditions. First and foremost, the vehicles must travel on the far right-hand side of the road. Second, the vehicle must travel at a speed of 10 miles per hour or less. Third, the vehicle must enter the road from the trail point closest to the business and only allowed to use that section of road. All other violators will be addressed by the Madawaska Police Department. This is huge. I don't know if you people realize that or not, but this is really huge. I've received calls from police chiefs all over the state because they've received comments, positive comments from their riders, how things are being done in Madawaska with the ATV Club and Snowmobile Club. And that's due to the members here today, the people that are here, making sure that you people know not to abuse the trails, because we're gaining where other people have not gained. If you heard Mr. DeShane say in Lincoln, they banned them all. Here we're going to allow people to go on our roads to use the ATV trail to get to a business. I mean, that's not heard of in many places. And that's done because the riders have been responsible. We're looking for your help to keep that under control. I can't stress enough what Officer Marquis said. If you're going down the road, first of all, you have to be under the right age to be able to do that. Some of you may not qualify for that, and we will stop and check you if we do see it. But what we're trying to emphasize here today is that if you see a police car, don't attempt to run away from it. Don't attempt to run away from it. You may be legal in what you're doing. Okay? Once you attract our attention, we will look at it under a microscope. What attracts our attention? High speed of the vehicle on the road. I speed on the trail. What attracts our attention? Loud machines. We get calls about that all the time. Most people don't have a problem with you going down the side of the road at 10 miles an hour going to a business. They don't have a problem with that. The problem becomes when you're speeding, when your machine makes a lot of noise, when you're riding or damaging somebody's property, when you're driving reckless. That's when the problems start. When the problem starts, then they call us for enforcement. And our job is to enforce it. You have a lot of privileges that have been given to you as ATV snowmobile riders due to a lot of the hard work of these people. 1 or 2 or 3 people can void those agreements that have been made with the town of Madawaska. And I'm telling you, this is not allowed in many communities. Please, please, do not spoil it for anybody else. Help us by patrolling yourselves. If you see somebody doing something wrong, before right, go see them and talk to them. Tell them they're jeopardizing your rights. We need your help on this. We want to make sure everybody's safe. We want to make sure everybody's properties are protected. And we want to make sure that everyone has a good experience on their ATV and snowmobile. Thank you very much.